Okay, hello? Okay, hello? All right, I think I got it. So yeah, I'm just going to hit a Corvex, a Viking, and a Gex system, and see what kind of missions they have. I'm kind of looking for missions that are giving out storage augmentations for the ship. Since I just built that solar ship, I could use some extra storage for my technology. All right. I definitely do not need salvage frigate modules. Quantum computer, I'll take that. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just go do that mission and I'll move to the next one. Galaxy map.
Technology recharge.
Right, so my gameplay, I'm watching on my phone, and it looks like the video or gameplay is like right on sync, but I got my volume down. But the last time I was listening, it was kind of like a major delay. Okay, what we got here? There you are. It's crazy the targeting. Like it wants you to go. I got people attacking me within range that I'd like to hit, but the default targeting is like, hey, there's a pirate like in the next solar system coming your way. You should target him. It's like, man, I know I can change it, right? But I'd rather not. Like it's oh no, okay, that's it. So I'm just trying to get on with this mission. Worried about these guys. But yeah, I'll take a reward, I guess. It's probably this freighter underneath me, maybe. Yeah, it is. I think I might do a couple derelict freighters. I've been doing them and just been getting upgrades, but the problem is I already have a lot of upgrades, and I'm either it's wanting to overcharge, or I just need to find some other type of technologies, I guess. Okay, storage bulkhead, that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna go down. Mission done. I think before I go to a Corvex and deck system for the missions, I think I'm going to hit my freighter and debrief my frigates. And I need to switch. Track and scan planetary creatures. Okay. Creature survey location. Begin scanning. Well, I'm not seeing any creatures in this general area. Let's move around a little bit, I guess. Oh, here we go. Okay, just need 6. Probably scanned the tree, yeah. What? Yeah, 4 of 6. Okay. Maybe, oh, here's some. I was thinking maybe I'll find a body of water and scan some of the fish or something. But I may not need to do that. Alright. There's something right over there. What about anything closer to me? No. Yeah. Come on. Maybe some birds again. Awesome. Target up. Return to mission agent. Okay. So I've got that taken care of. And yeah, I want to go back to my freighter and pretty much brief my guys. Maybe I'll stop by my settlement too, because I did update it in that last episode, and that was pretty much yesterday, so I'll do that real quick as well. Oh, you know what? This is, yeah, man. Right here. I was going to say this is a completely different system. I forgot about that. It's Corvex. So he's got a mission to where I can get a storage augmentation. And, that could be helpful, right? Mineral compressors. That way I don't have to make them. But I'm just going to stick with that, but I'm going to go to my freighter real quick, because it's quite possible that I'll get another storage augmentation from one of the missions. Uh-oh, I see someone here. You got the stream running. Yes. It was a pain in the butt though, man, because I already had my channel, or my, I don't know, my PlayStation account linked to YouTube, but every time I would hit broadcast, they would say go to site, verify, and I had to go through a bunch of crap, but I think I've got it taken care of. I'm sort of not sure how to approach this though, because, you know, when I was making videos and editing, I watched your most recent video earlier building this. Yeah, I did that yesterday. But when when I make a video, I can cut out all the like boring stuff where I'm just kind of standing around thinking about what I want to do. So I'm not sure about this. I'm sure I'll get the hang of it though. So I'm trying to get storage augmentations at the moment, and I've got a mission for a Corvex, and I'll be able to get one doing that. And I just figured that my frigates here would probably have a good chance of hooking me up with a augmentation. So I'm just checking that before I go out and do that mission. Yep. Cool. Then I think I'm going to go to my settlement, my auto, well, both settlements, but I think my autophage settlement, I, I've got a building I think I need to unveil, and that actually might take my autophage settlement to S class. My Corvex is already S class, and it looks like by the time I'm done debriefing these guys, I'll probably be able to just buy another technology slot for my starship. And I guess I'm sorry, everyone. I need to keep grabbing my phone. I'm not sitting at a computer. I'm just chilling on my couch playing this game. So you got the stream, your most recent video, beauty of the live stream, completely raw footage. I would recommend if you're streaming to make a small list of things you want to do. Yeah, yeah. So I've kind of got a list in my head of what I wanted to do. Not too different from when I was just making the fresh start videos. Get my frigates out of the way, send them out on a new mission, check my settlements, and then basically do some missions, check the Nexus, see what missions they've got. I don't know how the building would go. I've been doing a lot of building, rebuilding this base I've got on the Paradise Planet, but that's like you have an idea and you start implementing it, and then it's like, oh, that's not going to work, and you got to tear a piece down and change everything. But it's all good. New potential expeditions. Industrial. Would you recommend getting farms set up first, resource extraction, etc.? Uh, I don't know. So you're asking me, would I recommend you prioritizing setting up like mining bases or farm? Pretty much same thing, right? Farming bases, I guess, like for animals to get eggs and milk and stuff, plants and all. That's hard to say, right? It depends what is most important to you. Um, the way I did my Fresh Start series was totally different. Yeah, yeah, I guess I would agree with him. If that's important to you, then you should prioritize that. I didn't. My normal gameplay, the way when I started playing this game and the way I play this character is not much like my Fresh Start series. I mentioned a couple times in some of my past videos that when I started playing the game, once I got the construction research unit that you get basically when you get your base computer, and I seen that you could get all this cool building stuff, like everything in the game pretty much went on hold at that point, right? Like Artemis can wait, whatever, he'll find his way, Like I wasn't concerned with any of that stuff. I was just having a lot of fun building, you know. I guess the bad thing about that was not really a bad thing, but what I learned in the Fresh Start series was I was getting a whole lot of building materials. Like, get access to all the safes and stuff just by doing a couple missions for your, like your overseer. So I don't know. Yeah, just prioritize whatever you think's important. Building your mining bases or farms. I love building mining bases. I think that might be something I get into in another live episode. Probably a few weeks ago, I let me get these guys sent out real quick. A couple weeks ago, I went to trade. So a couple weeks ago, I went to an old mining base I had for silver, and I wasn't getting any gas, any oxygen or any gases from it. And back then, when I built that base, I was aware of using the survey device, and I looked for a gas signal, I looked for an electromagnetic signal, and I couldn't find it, but I had a silver signal, and I was like, well, I need silver. So I just found the strongest location, like you normally do, try to get it to like 98, 99% concentration. And I just built a big base there, and I just threw the extractors and the depots right inside the base. And I went to that base. I hadn't been there in some time because I don't really collect materials from my bases that much anymore, just once in a while. And I went there and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run around, 3, 4, 500 U away from this base and just start scanning for stuff. I found a dioxide hotspot. I found a radon hotspot, and I just basically found the center point and built a new base there. And now I'm getting two minerals. I'm getting silver and dioxide, and I'm getting radon. And I'm trying to remember. And I do have an electromagnetic signal. So I was able to delete a base that I built a while back, a radon and dioxide base. So I'd kind of like to do that in the future, right? Get rid of some of my older bases or expand them. Sort of thing. All right. I kind of got lost in that whole thing. Yeah, ship hunting's real fun. I love that. I've got a bunch of Sentinel ships. I watched a video on YouTube a while back, and it was 126 Sentinel ship locations. I mean, the guy did a great job. I mean, that's a lot of ships. And so I did go and I got the yellow Sentinel ship with the dragon wings, and I think it's got the four supercharged slots like all together and stuff. And it's really cool. But I have a Sentinel ship exactly like that one, except it's red and black. And it's not like the yellow one is like destroying the red one I got in damage. The yellow one's got a little bit higher damage, but at the end of the day, I prefer the red one. Then I got one that's just like that, but it's all black and it's got some slight red detail. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to get this, and then I don't even balanced. Okay. Whoa, what's going on here? can't get out of the, oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah, Sentinel ships. I think Sentinel ships are really, really powerful. At least when, like, you know, when I made that ship yesterday, S-class ship, like it barely had any technology spots. When you find a Sentinel ship, it's like loaded with technology spots. All right, I'm good. I'm gonna hit these settlements real fast. So this right here is the settlement I was talking about. It used to be just silver, and now it's like silver dioxide, right? And so I think I'm going to do that to some of my other sites. Maybe this green gas site. This site just basically gets me sulfurin. That's it. I I just recently recorded, but I got rid of it. I wanted to update. I wanted to make a new base building mining, how to build a mining base video, because the one I made was like one of the first, not the first, but one of the few first videos I was making, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I feel like this video I made the other night, it was so much better, but it's hard to pack in all the information. I'd really like to be able to make a tutorial video on something like that, like half an hour, but I just can't do it, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. That's what I could use right now. Maybe I should, I think I just got a steady unmatched too. To risk sentinel attention in the name of progress. Let's do it by now. Yeah, well, you know what I didn't really cover in the original mining base video is like it just what is it? It's right on the PlayStation Share Factory. I know it's probably like total new beginner stuff, but I've kind of been learning how to use it, and it's easy. So, all right, I'm not sure if I have a building to unveil here. Let me just float around here for a few minutes. I'm not sure if that went through or you got it. I just use Share Factory, and like I said, I'm very very new to this stuff, so well, you kind of you kind of need to have a settlement because I believe it has a lot to do with you being able to access purple galaxies. Like it has something to do with the autophage quest line. And even though I just got done doing that whole thing on that other character, you know, I can't. You should definitely become an overseer to a settlement because I do believe it has everything to do with being able to do your autophage quest lines in order for you to get to purple galaxies. Yeah, share factories. It took me a while to kind of understand it too. It was a little frustrating, but I'm at a point now where I'm pretty comfortable with it. Okay. Uh, I don't think I don't think I have anything here to upgrade. I think it's at my autophage. Yeah. Well, when you get your first settlement, I'm just going by my own experience with this character, right? And then it happened to my fresh start character that I accidentally deleted. When you get your first settlement and you start progressing through it, eventually you're going to get an invitation, and it'll more than likely be an autophage, and they're going to say, "Hey, would you come settle? You know, would you become the overseer garrison?" And so, yeah, yeah, so also when you start getting further progressing through your settlement, you'll start getting production, right? So like the autophage guys here, and you can choose what you want them to make you, right? Get a pretty good. Now I used to have them make me fusion accelerants, right? Because these things are just quick and easy money. But I had changed that over to heat capacitors because these guys will make me heat capacitors. My other guys make me quantum processors, and they all kind of go into making stasis devices, but inverted mirrors, you know, radiant shards, all kinds of stuff. On my fresh start character, I had chose frost crystals and hexaberry. I'm sorry, kelp sack. And frost crystals are real valuable to me because I use concrete a lot to build with, and I'll just take the frost crystals and make glass out of them instead of using my silica powder or dust. So it's yeah, authorize a small group of citizens represented by ambassador, whatever, seek your permission to begin an expedition. They wish to locate ancient relics and feel that nearby monolith is a perfect place to establish a dig site. They promise the settlement will have full ownership over any artifacts. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's a S class now, and I want to check the status of this settlement because I'm not sure it was A class. It should be. There we go. Yeah, still A class. So that means I should have some available buildings to upgrade. S class, S class. What about this building right here? I'm not seeing any purple stuff glowing over buildings.
Toxic protection. Falling.
Luxury habitation. Maybe my landing pads are not S class yet. Maybe that's sort of what's holding me up. What's that say? Fabricator occupied. What's the right here? Advanced dock. No, that's S class. I might have another one. I know I have two at the Corvex site. Okay, so I don't. Yeah, Share Factory, I like it. It's easy, but I have nothing to compare it to. I mean, I've heard a lot about OBX or whatever. I guess that's like a standard. I love the Atlantic weapons, man. For mining, it's crazy. I'm just trying to find a lower than S class building to upgrade. There's got to be one because it's saying that my settlement is A class. All right, well, whatever. I'm not that worried about it. I want to get going. So, hold on. I missed nothing. So I'm just going to port to where I got to do that mission at. Oh, you know what? That's near. I believe that's near this Paradise base I've been upgrading in Hilbert Dimension, where I got that mission. Oh man, I put my starship all the way up there. Alright, I think it's the system right next to this one. Alright, mission, I need to, guess I need to highlight that. Yeah, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Cyclotron, but I don't have space for it right now. Okay, so I could probably just go to the space station right in this system and turn it in. Or hold on, is this a... This is a Corvette system, I believe. Yeah. I'm just going to highlight it. Planetary Sentinels. Yeah, I got a little distracted there at my settlement. So I think I need to turn in the scanning animals mission. But I think I need to go to a Corvette system to do that. And I haven't even started on killing a Sentinel quad. But let me just see. Alright, yeah. Should be able to access it right here. Yeah, I'm just going to go to any Corvette system. I'll go here. See, I'm a little bit lost right now because the mission is not showing up. The one I just did where I scanned the 5, 6 animals, and I didn't turn it in yet. So what is going on here? All right. Destroy Sentinel quads. So I guess I just got to start a fight with Sentinels anywhere. It doesn't matter. Yeah, these are my favorite solar cockpits right here. Real pointy ones. I mean, from when you look at it from the top down, I think that's pretty amazing looking. Nitrophinium. So this is the mining base I just built, and I made a video, but I wound up deleting it because I was like, man, this thing's too long. But it was definitely a better video, because I think in this video versus my first mining base video, I didn't really explain too much on how to expand the base, even though expanding beyond 300U is pretty simple. Like, there's a really efficient, fast way to go about doing it compared to the way I showed or didn't show on the video. This. It's a new upgraded building technology, invisible landing pad, pretty much. Oh, there it is.
Technology recharge.
Oh man, Sentinel sparse. Oh, here we go. The S-Class multi-tool base. This is this is perfect. This right as Sentinel base. This is what I found on my other guy, Fresh Start. I posted it on YouTube. So this will take me right there. me change out my weapon. There we go. And all splitter, paralysis mortar. You'll love my paralysis mortar. Mm. I'm not worried about destroying the station here. I just want to attract some sentinel attention to get these quads, or one quad. Is it down in the cave here? Man. I don't want to destroy this pillar. So maybe I can get more sentinels to come after me if I mess around with this. Yeah, and I don't want to deactivate them. Well, you know what, doesn't matter. I already got the weapon from here, so... Alright, here we go. What? This dude's stuck over there or something. Okay, so you know what? I'll go to the relic world where my other guy had his base. There's a lot of sentinels on that planet where if you just like hit some dehydrogen crystals, they're like getting all upset at you. So maybe I can start a fight there. There we go. I'll bring on the reinforcements.
Warning. Sentinel combat unit deployed.
Shooting all erratically and stuff. Oh, look at this. He was stuck down in the, whatever that thing was.
Warning. Elite Sentinel force.
There we go. I think these might be the quads, possibly. Yeah. Alright. I'm out of here. There we go. Alright.
Toxic protection. Falling.
So the person who was asking me about should they prioritize a farming base or mining base, what kind of mining base? What are you searching for? There's a little bit of lag here, a little bit of a delay, like 5 seconds or something. And then missions. Okay. Yeah, kill 1 sentinel. So what was the, I wonder what the mission was for the, animals, scanning the animals. I don't know. Alright, but I'm going to go ahead and, do I have 22 million units on me. Let's see if I can actually afford to. Yeah, I can purchase one, and I'm going to apply the augmentation. Cool. So, go there and there. Oh. Okay. So hyperdrive really needs some love. Oh, this setup. So yeah, I can do this. It's not really affecting nothing. $275, $277. Well, that should balance out. $276. Wow. $277. Okay, I'm going to throw one hyperdrive in here. Man, that's crazy. I mean, I'll take 1324 hyperdrive range, but I'd rather that apply to to my maneuverability or something. Okay. Maybe. What is that module? I just assist override. Okay, that kind of helps out. That. Yeah. Oh, I'm curious about this X cyclotron module though. 1 damage, 2 fire rate. 1 damage, 13 fire rate. Okay, so I think I've got better ones than that, but I will hold on to that. Let's see what happens when I pull this out. Okay. Yeah. 298, almost 300. $11 fire rate. 13 fire rate. I'm just going to throw these shields in for now. I'm sure I'll get another augmentation here pretty soon. Alright, I'm going to look for I'm going to go to a Gex system, see what the mission guy has. There we go. Okay, this is an abandoned station, so I need to go somewhere else. What about some of these systems? So it doesn't, don't say. Let's try this one. Michael Marsh, still there? Okay, I'm going to go to the anomaly, see what they got. See what they got at the Nexus. Mind control device, Quicksilver car. I don't want to go fishing. Let me see. I can't remember if I grabbed a emergency signal scanner. I think I'm just going to go do a derelict freighter right now. Why not? I don't see any missions that I'm too interested in doing. Cool. Alright, yeah. I'm going to do a derelict freighter. Oh, that's cool. I've got the yellow version of this squid-looking ship. That's cool, though, the red version. Hey, I think it's Michael Marsh. Are you there? I was just, if you're listening, I was just curious. Earlier you asked about a farming or a mining base. I was just curious what you were trying to find, what you wanted to set up a base for. All right, I'm going to. What do I want to enjoy? I think I'm going to go ahead and just take something that's going to jack up either my hazard shield or specifically cold. So I've got these. This will work. I'll take like 4 of these, I think. Yeah, 26 minutes should. Oh, I didn't activate it, though, did I? No. All right, ready to go. Let's see what we do.
Technology recharge.
Is that everything in here? I think it is. Yeah. Alright, there's my credentials I need. So I still will read, I'll still hit all the log snippets even though I got what I need from them. Uh-oh. Got the nasties up in here. Oh man, these guys got out already. Damn it. A bunch of them got out. Come on, die. Damn it. And they all got loose. I'm in trouble. Alright, cool. Man. So there's no more. Okay, yeah, they all wound up getting loose. More to worry about though. Just get this. Leave this place. Sublime poetry. Maybe that would be worth taking to one of those. Can't remember the name. The big trading places where you get the exchange relics. Okay, got everything in here pretty much. Is there a... No. Or did I go in here? Yeah, that's where I came from. So I want to check this room out. Alright, this has 11 spots. Oh man, it broke them out. Ricochet. Log snippet. Oh. Wasn't really much of anything in this room. Alright. Maybe there'll be something in the sleep quarters here. Just slime.
Technology recharge.
There we go. Oh, one of them got away. Oh man, they were like ready for me, huh? ship looks sick. It was worth it, but thank you. That was kind of... That just appeared up on my screen. Alright. Oh. Okay, there's one. Damn it. Uh-oh. Not good. Ah. Come on, die. More nests. This is a pretty big room here. I think there's one over here, yeah. Oh, I've got two more. And this is a bad spot right here. Yeah, it's not a good spot. Uh-oh, I'm out of paralysis mortars. That's not good. There's one left somewhere. Right there. Big old globs of slime. It's the same multi-tool setup when you have a free chance. I'm still working on getting mine together. Yeah, derelict freighters are totally worth it, man. You get a lot of good stuff out of here. A lot of times you get salvage frigate modules quite often. So I'd definitely do as many as you can. And plus, at the end of the derelict freighter, in the engineering bay, you could choose between items and nanites. If you choose items, you could pick up storage bulkheads for your freighter, which is great. You can choose technology, which would be for your freighter as well, which is awesome. And you could also choose Corvette parts. I never take Corvette parts because they're just so easy to get, accessible. I usually nowadays I'm just getting the technology because I have a bunch of storage bulkheads available. Yeah, definitely do derelict freighters. And the other thing was multi-tool setup. Yeah, I can I can guess I can talk about that. I guess once I'm done this, I'll at least talk about how I set mine up. I think one of the things, like when it comes to your exosuit, your multi-tool, or your starship, whatever you're putting technology into, I think the first thing to kind of to get over or to get around is all right. So for the longest time, when I would get a new starship or like a multi-tool, right? So we're all kind of used to the scanners being on this side right here, and we're kind of used to I can't even remember. I've been doing it this way for a long time, but like the mining stuff being in the middle, and usually your damage might be over here. At least that's how it is on the starship, right? Usually your pulse engine's over here, hyperdrive in the middle, shields in the middle, and damage over here. Well, I would just suggest taking your multi-tool and totally stripping all the technology out of it. Absolutely. And figure out what is the most important thing you want to focus on, right? Your damage potential or your scanner range. Probably your damage potential, right? And put whatever those components are most important to you in or near the supercharged slots. Um, so for me, for the most part, like I have a couple weapons, but like this multi-tool right here is a beast when it comes to mining, and that's where I've got like important things. Now I do have some weapon technology in supercharged slots just because with this weapon, just having this runic lens and a normal laser, as well as the upgrades, you don't really need any multi or supercharged slots for your mining stuff, except for the opti drill. So the rest, and I think, yeah, so the rest of these are taken up by damage. And this is kind of I guess you could say a balanced weapon, right? Like I could do some damage with this. It's not terrible. Um, However, the fact that I'm in a derelict freighter and there's absolutely no way I could do any mining in here, I'm focused on my weapon that does higher damage. I'm not sure if this multi-tool right here, yeah, this, now I could probably get this damage equal to the other multi-tool I got. It's just a matter of moving these things around, you know. But I would take every piece of technology you can. Some of the technology is by default just stuck in there. You can't take it out. But I would take it all out, and then I would take, like, for instance, if you use a pulse splitter, take the actual pulse splitter unit itself, not a technology upgrade of it, and just throw it in a couple spots and see how your damage is affected by it, right? So whatever spot you put it in that gives you the highest damage, start there, and then grab a couple of your upgrades for that and move each one around it and see where you get the highest numbers pretty much. And obviously for the most part, well, let me let me get my original weapon here. Yeah, just juggling things around and anything, almost anything, not everything, but almost anything you stick in a supercharged slot's going to jack it up pretty crazy, right? Yeah, I agree. You know, you can also do stuff like I don't know if it was this weapon. It may have been this weapon or yeah, uh, so one of these multi-tools I had um like if you don't have a specific multi-tool for mining and you got a specific one for damage, you know, you can always have like your pulse splitter right in your, well, you can have your is that a pulse? Yeah, no. Here it is. So you can have your pulse splitter in the supercharged slot, right? And have a spot next to it. And then anytime you know you're going to be mining something like runaway mold or whatever, you can just throw your opti drill in that supercharged slot, even though that's not a supercharged slot right there. Right? You could just take the pulse splitter out of it and throw your opti drill in, and now you're ready to do your mining, and then just try to remember to, you know, replace everything. However, if you have a another multi-tool, you can just set that up to do your mining. Yeah, but there's not really any secret to it. It's just juggling things around pretty much until you get the highest possible potential numbers you're looking for. And there's so many. How would I say it? There's so many combinations, right? Like I kind of feel like this multi tool I have right here. It's the highest. It's the highest I have, but I'm sure if I messed around with this, it's possible that I might be able to up my damage from where I'm at now. Or if I was somehow worried about scanning, I'm sure I could get my scan range pretty sick. All right, I need to get all this stuff looted. There's a ton of stuff in here. Yeah, do as many derelict freighters as you can. Whoever asked me that, absolutely. You get one free emergency signal scanner a week at the Anomaly from Helios, and you can go to any space station and go in the back where the gray market dealer is. You can buy them from him. And I think if you go to different space, so like if you buy an emergency signal scanner from a GEC space station, when you complete that derelict freighter and you take back the goods to him and sell them, you could buy another one, but he's going to charge you 10 million instead of 5 million. But I believe, but don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. if you go to a different type system, like go to a Corvex system, then you can go ahead and buy another emergency signal scanner for 5 million instead of the 10 million. And then I'm pretty sure you can then go to a Viking system, right, and buy another one. I never actually tried it. I just know that there's been times where they will charge you. They'll increase the price, but then there's been times where they don't, and I think that's because it's just the whatever system the dominant life forms in. Kind of like missions. When you go to mission agents, you'll get different missions from Corvex, Skek, and Viking. So I'm pretty sure it works that way with Raiders. Oh man.
Ground protection falling. Technology recharge.
Alright, ton of stuff to loot in here. I think that's everything. I am not seeing any more. Yeah. Okay. 4, 5. Hidden freaking log snippet like over here. No? Alright, which one do I want to hit first? Pick up this one. Wow, it's not doing nothing to any of them. Alright, yeah, dude. Oh, is one loose attacking me somewhere? Yeah. heater on, mostly for the light, a little bit of added light. Let's see. Starship modules. When I was watching your recent video, the S-class reactor was only... Yeah, I've noticed that too. They're not always the same price. I guess different systems, right? Charge different amounts or whatever. Yeah. Most of the time I don't even pay attention because the method I've got for collecting nanites, like I could I think I did actually do it in the last video. I wound up I don't have any need for nanites right now. So if I want quick money, I'll just go and farm a ton of my runaway mold and then just sell it. But what was it? It was on I went to my home terminal. Come on, I went to the Galactic Trade thing at my home terminal, and it was like minus 70% on runaway mold. And so I decided to go to not only a different system, I went to the Hilbert Galaxy and went to a space station, and it was -8 compared to -70 or something like that. So I would have got 1.6 million if I would have just sold it at my home terminal. But going to the other galaxy, or maybe just going to a different system, I think it was 6 million. So it was well worth it. But yeah, I've noticed that as well. I've noticed that as well. Different prices for the modules. But yeah, if you watch my video, how to get the most nanites or something like that, it's a pretty new video. I think if you can implement that stuff, you won't even care. Like, you won't even look at the price. You'll have so much. Yeah. All right. What do I got over here? How many more? It's not telling me. All right, so we're at the end. This is the engineering bay. So yeah, I'm going to choose technology. but I'll probably get something that's just going to overcharge my freighter, but we'll see. Cool. A-class fleet exploration unit. Let's see if that does anything pretty good. I think I'm going to try to get some stuff together to sell and see if I can get another technology slot. I don't want to really spend all of my storage augmentations I have in storage. I'd rather leave those for, because I've got a bunch of other ships. Farms for materials and nanites. What kind of materials specifically? Like anything or anything specific? And I'm asking that because I mean, yeah, I can refer you to my resources video that I made, but if you're looking for any of the element cores, you know, like the uraniums, ammonias, dioxide, phosphorus, pyrite, paraffinium, like you could just go and literally make a mining base for gold or silver, right? And you've got the added benefit that gold and silver have their own purposes and uses. But if you could make a mining base that just is able to get one of those, then you're able to take the gold or the silver, and you can add, I believe it's ferrite dust, right? It's ferrite dust or oxygen. I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you add that to either gold or silver, okay, so if you put gold in the refiner, it's going to turn into pyrite, one to one. If you put gold in the refiner with oxygen, it's going to turn into pyrite, one gold, one oxygen, make two pyrite. So if you have access to any of the ore elements, the pyrite is a good example. Whenever you add ferrite dust to the ore elements in the refiner, it's going to move to the next one in the chain. And there really is not a first or a last one. It just depends what you have. Right? They go in a certain order. So I'll show you what I mean. So in my exosuit, I always carry the ore elements with me. The only one I don't have with me right now, the only one I don't have with me is paraffinium, because paraffinium has absolutely no use to it except for maybe something calls for it. But you're not going to use paraffinium to power up any of these shields, and you're not going to use paraffinium to fuel up your launch thrusters or your pulse engine or your hyperdrive. Whereas with pyrite and uranium, that's going to fuel up your thrusters. That's going to fuel up your pulse engine, right? Pyrite. And I try to never use tritium to fuel my pulse engine because that is like dedicated for my freighter fuel. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a video on resources and mostly dealing with the refiner. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I forgot to put in that video. You could make a lot of content just with that. Something I forgot to put. Well, I didn't forget to put it in the video. Hold on, let me get rid of this stuff. Okay, so in my resources video, I was talking a lot about everything, But when I got on the subject of this activated indium, right? I was like, yeah, if you carry activated indium around with you, you've got access to chromatic metal, you've got access to activated indium, and you got access to magnetized ferrite, right? Which then, if you have access to magnetized ferrite, you have access to pure ferrite. And I was talking about how great it was that, you know, if you put activated indium in there, you get the 1-to-4 ratio with the chromatic metal, right? But then I had said, now if you add the ferrite dust, you get a 1-to-8 ratio of magnetized ferrite. You know, I never thought, well, what happens if you put pure ferrite in there with the activated indium? Then you get the 1-to-8 ratio of chromatic metal. So that's pretty awesome. It's just something I stumbled across, I think, when I was playing on my Fresh Start character, maybe a few weeks ago or something. All right, I got some stuff to sell. Yeah, so if you want to get into building bases and you like using the refiner, I would try to find a gold or a silver, a planet that has gold and silver, and then search that planet for those hotspots. Um, I'm going to sell this stuff, and then I'm going to hit one of my bases, and I'll give you a little example here. Silver. No, I'm not going to sell that. I was using that earlier for some of the building I was doing. Encrypted user data. Yeah, get rid of that. Wow, 32 of these. So I'm going to sell 22 of them and just keep 10. What do I got? I don't need a hermetic seal for nothing. I want to take this. I want to take this with me. All right. I'm probably better off just trying to build another stasis device or something. So let me see. I'll go here to my Kongi base. I got 5 refiners at this place. Yeah, exactly. I haven't figured out a recipe though for making gold, right? And I think that was like one of the things that, I don't know, thousands of years ago, alchemists were trying to figure out how to make gold. All right. So yeah, so with gold, let's see. So with gold, you can just make pyrite 1-to-1, right? Which is fair. But then when you add the oxygen to it, it basically gives you 2 pyrite. And the cool thing with, that is, okay, so if you got a gold farm or a base, you make your pyrite, right? So now, with your pyrite, if you add, and this applies to all these elements here, the element ores, if you add the ferrite dust, it'll make it into paraffinium, right? So let me do that real quick, because I don't have any paraffinium on me. So I'll just make one. All right. So now with pyrite, you're able to make paraffinium. Now, if you add the paraffinium to that refiner with the ferrite dust in it, now you can make the next one in line, ammonia, right? So now you made a bunch of ammonia. Now you can take that ammonia, right, and you can make dioxide. And then once you have your dioxide, you can make your phosphorus. Right? And then you make your phosphorus, you can make your uranium. And then at that point, it just, right, you got uranium, now it'll make pyrite. So in theory, you don't need to have any mining bases for the ore elements. But here's the paradox, right? At least this is a paradox for me. So for me, it's really fun to do the whole procedure of going to a planet, finding the hotspots, building the mining base, right? But I'm talking about doing something that makes it to where you don't have to hardly do anything except mix stuff up in your refiner. So it's crazy. It's just like when you start the game, you're running around the planets and you got to collect stuff and mine stuff. And that's like that is part of the charm of the game. And then it's like we get in such a hurry to get all this stuff. Let's make a bunch of mining bases for every sort of resource. And then at that point, you basically have nothing to do in the game, right? So it's it's a challenge. So I think, I think the way that I get around that challenge is I get a little bored and I'll scrap one of my S-class ships for a certain part and go out and hunt for something like I did yesterday with the solar ship. Uh, I'll get a little bored and I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go to my green gas base, my sulfurin base, and I'm going to go here and just search around, and then maybe I find a bunch of hot spots and it gives me something to do. I've never found a way to make gold or silver. You can make platinum if you mix silver and gold in the refiner, and then you can make nanites. You can make nanites with platinum. You can make them. You can make nanites with radiant shards. Um, all kinds of stuff you can make nanites with. But I just think if you have a runaway mold farm, I do not think there is a better way to make nanites than that. 9 teleport coordinates. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go to that artifact exchange spot and see what I can get for that. Nitrophinium. It's a new one, yeah. nitrogen and paraffinium at this place. Ways to go. Still need good enough freighter to upgrade my exo mix. So much more. Yeah. No, it's a good thing, man, because that was the really fun thing. The thing I had with my fresh start guy. I wish I wouldn't have accidentally deleted him, but there was just so much left to do. Even though I beat or got done the I think four major storylines, right? Artemis and all that stuff. Still had a lot to do with the freighter. Do you know, if you're pretty new, do you know how to go about getting like an S-class freighter? In particular, like a dreadnought, right? Lots of people love the dreadnought, including myself. I also love the Star Destroyer looking freighters. So on this guy, I'm close to about 1,000 hours. And on my fresh start guy that I just lost the account on, I had 127 or 130 hours on him. Like, I got so much further ahead on that guy than, like, in way shorter period of time than this guy, because I didn't know nothing when I started playing, right? Just like anyone else who starts playing the game. Had no clue what I was doing. Most of the stuff I stumbled upon. Here and there I would watch a couple YouTube videos. But on this guy, like I just I think it was the first, it was either the first episode or second episode of Fresh Start, where you actually get in your starship, go to another planet. I went to that other planet and I just was scanning around for a specific element and I seen curious deposits. And right at that point I was like, okay, I'm throwing a Satan beacon down, and anytime, I needed nanites, I would just go there and blow them up. And I was able to move so much further ahead on that guy in such a shorter period of time. But I don't know that that's such a great thing. I mean, on that character, I limited myself. No, I have no idea how to. Okay. So I have a video on getting an S-Class Dreadnought. You should check it out. It's not a tutorial, though. It's just me going through the process of getting one. It's pretty brain numbing, right? It's pretty brain numbing and boring because you got to do the same thing over and over and over again, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end. And like for my dreadnought, I got my dreadnought in a non-pirated galaxy, or not a galaxy, a non-pirate system. A lot of people think that you can only, get it in a pirate system, and I think that is probably the best advice, right? Just go to a pirate system because you'll probably find them there more often. But I got mine by accident, sort of. I picked up a mission from a mission agent, and it told me, your mission targets in the neighboring system. Go to the galaxy map. and I hit the galaxy map, and it was the system right next to me, right? So it was right there. And once I poured it in, boom, there's a dreadnought battle going, right? And so it's on that video I made, but previous to that video, yeah, previous to that video, I was just going to the center of the galaxy on this guy. Right now, again, I've already beat the game on this guy a while back, and I've got access to a bunch of different galaxies, but I've never made it a thing to go to the center of the galaxy and, throw a base down. Maybe I'll do that on this guy. Maybe I'll go to the center of this Hilbert galaxy, and then go to the center of another galaxy. But when I was heading to the center of the galaxy, there were times where I would come across dreadnoughts, and I'd go through the thing of going to the space station, setting up a restore point, right? And then when you port to the next system, if there's a battle going on, and you defeat the dreadnought, and it's not a Class S, you can just hit your restore save, and it'll take you to that space station before the dreadnought fight even happened. So you can just do that over and over and over, right? Now, you don't know if the next system you port into is going to have a battle going on. But what you can do is just go to a space station, land, get out of your ship. Once you get out of your ship, you're going to create a restore point right there. And then just leave, hit the galaxy map, port to the next system. If there's a battle going on, you're gold. If there's not, when you get in that next system, just go to the space station, create a restore point, keep doing it until you get into a battle. Eventually you will get to a battle. And at that point you can just, defeat the dreadnought, go inside, Class C, hit restore, it'll put you right back at the space station, and do it again. I think it took me 24 to 27 tries, right? So it's a pretty brain-numbing experience. It took like 2.5, 3 hours. But, like you're saying, that's part of the grind. And, and then it's rewarding. You accomplished the goal, and you've got a cool, evil-looking Sith-type ship that you can show everybody. The only unfortunate thing about the dreadnought is that I wish, the little glowing red lights and stuff, I wish you could change them to whatever color you want to make it. The paint job, the editing for when you want to change the appearance is not that great with this. It's kind of like the Corvette, the breach expedition gave you those Corvette parts that glow and stuff, glow red. They're like black and they glow red. You can't change that glow to like a glowing green or yellow or orange. Man, where in the hell? There's like one of those artifact exchange places like really close by, and it's not showing up. Oh, here we go. That's why it's not showing up. It wasn't freaking loaded. All right. Submit sublime poetry. Okay. Alright. Let's see what this thing's worth. 1.7 million. 1.7 million. It's okay. Oh, so anyway, earlier I was saying about how much faster I progressed on my fresh start character than this guy, right? And that's just because I had more knowledge of what to do and all. I'm trying to remember what I was. Oh, so I kept coming across curious deposits on planets, and a couple of those spots. I think it was two where I built bases for, and I was thinking, if this was this guy right here that I wasn't doing a fresh start series with, like I kind of felt obligated not to go crazy, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, once I could have done this, once I found the first curious deposit location, I could have just built a really simple base, right? Just put a teleporter there and throw a few walls up to prevent them from rolling all over the place. And I could have just spent an hour, right? Farmed a ton of nanites, and I could have just went all at once and bought every single upgrade I needed at the anomaly in one shot. But that would have been pretty lame, And I remember in the beginning of the series, I think I may have mentioned, like, hey, I'm not like some new player that doesn't have any idea what this game's about. I've been playing it for a while. So if I see certain things that I know is going to be beneficial, I'm going to take advantage of it, right? So, I'm not going to run there and be like, oh, what are these round balls? What do they do? Like once I seen the 3 stars in my visor, I was like, oh, yeah, change of plans here, All right, I want to see if I can. Yep, can I make 2? I totally can. All right, cool. Can I make 3? No. Yep, that's where it ends. Okay. That's cool. So that means I can go ahead and what would these sell for? So I've got a 0.3% demand. Okay. So I've got a base. I got a base set up on this guy, and it's in a wealthy system right here, wealthy trade post, and it's not showing. Which anyway. Yeah. I mean, so what I was doing with that, and I didn't do this every episode, but basically, I don't know, I think I found them in episode 2 or 3. It was really early on. I think what I did was I would go there once per episode, right? I made it a point not to go like 5 or 10 times, you know. Basically, I would go there one time per episode. I stopped going after a certain point, and I would just hit them whenever I felt like I needed them. But I would go once per episode, and I would farm them up, and I would just throw them in my bank, you know, unless I knew, hey, I'm going to the anomaly and I want to get a couple upgrades. But yeah, so this system right here, or this plant, yeah, this system is wealthy, advanced materials wealthy. So I go here a lot of times when I want to sell. Look, two explorers, both pretty awesome. Got the big long wings. I like them. I built one like that. So I want to see what he's willing to give me for these stasis devices, if it's better than what the space station was offering. And it's not really, is it? It's actually worse. So yeah, I'm not going to sell them to him. And I guess that is going to apply to this terminal here. But might as well check since I'm here. Oh, +1. Yeah, doesn't really make that much difference though, but I'm going to go with it. All right, I think I'm going to fly to. Where is my ship? Oh, my ship's up there. I'm going to fly to the space station here. So I just built a little base here on top of the trade post so that I can come here whenever I want to sell something, or maybe I'm looking for a specific ship. Apparently, this is the system to come to, right? If you're looking for an explorer with the long arms, right? Yeah, you always need nanites, you know, because you were just saying you were farming sentinel ships. I mean, you'll farm a whole lot more of those ships. Then you'll wind up building ships. You'll make corvettes. So you're always going to need nanites, not just for the reactors when you make your ships or corvettes, but you're going to need them for, you know, technology to put in all of them. So. Yeah, it almost feels like cheating. You know, when you can, like throw your opti drill in the supercharged slot and you eat a specific food like chocolate cake, it increases your nanites farmed. It's like out of hand how much nanites or runaway mold you'll get. So 21,000. So I think I can only get one. Yeah. All right. Well, at least I can fill this in. And I gotta. Oh, I need to put this in my freighter too. But okay, let's see here. I hate when this happens. Right, when you lose your maneuverability and your shields, it only shows 2 stats. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to create a restore point, and then, well, yeah, I'm going to log right back in. Yeah, so this is basically what you would do if you were freighter hunting or dreadnought hunting. Go to the space station, get out of your ship, restore point saved, right? Then you just jump in your ship, you'll fly out, go into the galaxy map, go to a nearby system, and hope when you get out of the warp there'll be a battle going on. If there's not, then just go to that space station, right? Create your restore point by getting out. Boom, restore point saved, get back in, go to the galaxy map, go to another system until you come across. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dreadnought, right? But I think most people strive to get a dreadnought, right? You warp in if it's a battle going on, take the dreadnought out. The fastest way to take the dreadnoughts out is to start off at the back, shoot out the 5 or the 4 engines in the back. That way, they can't warp away from you if you start kicking their butt, right? So you take out the engines in the back, and then you just blow up the 6 cannons that are on the top. There's like 5 in the back, and then if you fly to the front, there's 1. And then once you do that, it'll say to enter in and negotiate terms with the captain. You don't even have to do that once you defeat the dreadnought and you park your ship inside. You can just get out and take your buys from it. They'll tell you Class C, Class A, Class B, but hopefully Class X. Once you get out of your ship and you see it's not what you want, right, you can just go right to your options, and then you would hit this right here, reload restore point, right? Now I don't need to do that because all of a sudden my shield and maneuverability showed back up. So now I can do some comparisons here. 1 damage, 12 fire rate, 1 damage, 13 fire rate. So I'm just going to take this out for a moment, just to make this easier to. 1 damage, 11 fire rate, no. And I think this was pretty weak too, compared to 1 damage, 18. Yeah, that's pretty weak. Oh, that's a different one, I think, than this one. 1 damage, 11 fire rate. Damage, 2 fire rate. They're like, these will become hand-me-downs for one of my Corvettes, pretty much. How about? Okay, now we're overcharging. 6 maneuverability versus 8 versus 6. Okay. 11 boost, 20 efficiency. 11 boost, so it's the same thing. Alright. Oops. Damn. Alright, I'm good to go with this ship. I think I'm gonna go back to the freighter, organize my stuff, and I might grab a different ship to mess around with. Uh-oh. There we go. Thanks, man. I appreciate you tuning in as well. Actually, I think I'm gonna log out. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. It was awesome. I'm pretty new to this, so I'm sorry if I wasn't paying attention and getting to your comments quicker. Eventually I'll improve at this. So have a good day, brother.